Everyone, and welcome to Online Coil Legal Psychology. We are so thrilled to have every single person in this class. You may be a little surprised that this is a online, well, hopefully not surprised it's online class, but maybe surprised that it's a COIL class. And so we're going to tell you all today a little bit about what does it mean to be a COIL class and how does it work. We will also talk to you about questions and how to contact us. This is just to give you a basic overview of the class and to help you decide if the class is right for you. But before we tell you about the class, we're going to tell you a little bit about us. Now, we only have about half of our professors here today, so there's going to be 2 introduction videos to the professors, and we're actually going to ask you all to do an introduction to yourself. One of the things that you will learn, and I will let some of my colleagues talk a little bit more about this, is every country has a different way to introduce themselves. In the United States, we tend to keep our introductions a little bit short, right? I might tell you my name, where I went to school, since I'm your professor, so you care about that, and a tiny bit about my background. But do you want to talk at all about introductions in Brazil and then maybe introductions in Mozambique?
Yeah, in Brazil, people usually talk about what is their job, what is their profession, and about their interests. So any kind of hobbies, sports, things that you enjoy doing in your free time. That is very much important for you to tell other people when you're presenting yourself. And from my experience in Mozambique, people in Mozambique also talk about their families, their origins, about how they become students, how they got to the point that they're doing a COIL class today with you. So people from Brazil, Mozambique, and US have very different ways of presenting and introducing themselves to each other. And this is one of the things that we want to explore in this COIL class. All of those differences and how they actually turn into behaviors in real life.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll get a chance to see a little bit of the benefits of everyone's approach of doing things. And so we're going to take a chance to do a slightly longer introduction, respecting, we hope, the Mozambique way of introducing people to ourselves. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first today, but also myself when I was an undergraduate and when I was in all of your shoes. And so hopefully that way you get the perspective of growth. And as you know, Dr. Gilbert teaches us at Harvard, right, that we're always constantly growing and changing who we are. So me today, right? Dr. Debbie Goldfarb, you are more than welcome to call me Debbie or Professor or Dr. Goldfarb. I am not very formal with that, and I welcome hearing from my colleagues how they handle that internationally. Second, why am I taking legal psychology or teaching legal psychology? I truly believe that psychology can make the legal system function better. I went to law school. I got my law degree first, and then I got my PhD, which makes me Dr. Goldfarb second. And I really wanted to help kids and make the world a better place for kids. That is one of my North Stars and why I do what I do. And I think that the legal system benefits from empirical research, helping us answer questions like, is this the best way for us to do this? What can children actually do? Can we make the system better for them? And so this legal psychology course will introduce you to some of the ways we conduct empirical research, right? Studies and experiments, and some of the ways that empirical research can inform the legal system. And I really do believe in working with students. I think that higher education can change lives. It's changed my family's life. It changed my father's life. And, my father was the first person in my family to go to college. I was the first person to go to law school. And so for each of us, right, education can make a huge difference. And so we are here to help make sure that higher education makes a difference in your life. So what do I want to be doing in 5 years? It's, good to be able to say you want the job that you have right now for the rest of your life. It's one of those incredible rare benefits. I'm not saying that the job doesn't have its fun and challenging days, but I'm just saying I really think what I do matters at the end of the day. And I really love what I do. What is my favorite psychology or law related show? You guys will learn throughout with comments and what we've posted that I love pop culture. Both of these are off the air now. But Criminal Minds, I love that show. It was all about criminally profiling serial killers. We won't cover that in this class, but happy to talk about shows and research on that issue. I'm not a clinical psychologist. I'm not a profiler, but I think it's fun. And the second show that I really liked, also serial killers, was called Mind Hunters. It's on Netflix. It's really good. So if you guys, want to spend some quality time working towards a class this weekend, you can watch Mindhunters. So what was I like as an undergrad? My name was the same. Why would I take legal psychology? Well, I guess because it sounds interesting. I didn't know it was a thing. Legal psychology was not as huge of a area of focus at my undergrad as it is here at FIU. At FIU, we have one of the only handful of legal psychology PhD programs in the nation, and we actually have what might be the oldest one. So what I want to be doing in 5 years, if you asked me when I was, 19 or 20, I said, I don't know, please stop asking me that. Why is everyone asking me that? Because I didn't know. I changed my mind a lot. I wanted to be a pediatrician. When I went into undergraduate, I had taken all of my pre-med requirements. That's right. Organic, inorganic, chem, all those fun things. And I decided not to be, and I can tell people why if you're curious down the road. But I didn't want to be a professor. That's what my dad did. No, thank you. But I realized that after being a lawyer and going into it, that I really saw that higher education and universities are incredible engines for creation for us, right? We educate the future of the world, and we know that that's how we make change, is helping others think about the changes that they want to see and helping them make those changes a reality. And also the research that universities do is really incredible. And we have the ability to solve real world problems in a real time way. And that's a really just incredible chance and opportunity. At the time when I was an undergrad, my favorite law-related show was Law and Order. I did also use it to study for the bar exam a little bit for New York. So, it's not such a bad show. But I will let others introduce themselves.
So my name today is, it's really funny because in the US, people would call me Sidney, and is a little bit different than it is in Portuguese. People in Mozambique and Brazil call me Sidney. That is, the accent gets a little bit different here. My last name, Filho, actually means son. It's like junior in English. So I have my father's name. And people in Brazil actually call me Sidney all the time. But in the academia, people will actually call me Dr. Priolo Filho. That's my professional name, if I must say. I love teaching this class with Debbie. One of the reasons is because Debbie is such a great person to work with. We already have a decade working together, so it's a long time. And I really like to see how psychology really is a powerful tool to improve lives. This is something that I'm a clinical psychologist, and this is something that it really shows to me how powerful this whole set of knowledge about human beings can actually make changes in the world. Legal psychology for me as well is something about kids. Debbie and I have been working with child sexual abuse, child protection system, children in courts, and this is something that really gets to both of us. How we can do this to function and to work better towards child protection. And I really like working with students, especially those that are highly motivated and engaged. And this is something that every professor says, oh, I love all my students. I love those that are motivated a little bit more. They are my favorite child. And this is the kind of thing that you actually see how education can really change how people engage in the world, how they see themselves as powerful actors that can improve the life of those around them and the life of the most vulnerable in our society. What is the other thing that we're going to talk?
Oh, sorry.
I the same as Debbie, I really enjoy being a professor. And this is something that I've been doing for some time now. I started as a Windows 98 teacher when I was 14 years old. So this is something that I do for some time. And I really enjoy being a teacher, a professor, and it's something that is in my genes. I don't really watch a lot of TV because I have a 6-month baby girl that takes all my time. But the last show that I watched that was about psychology was Breakpoint, and it has one that is really got my attention. That is one that is called Untold: Federer versus Fish, about the U.S. tennis player Fish, Martin Fish, that he was suffering from anxiety and depression, and he had to perform at the US Open. It's a really powerful documentary. And from that became this series of Breakpoint following those professional athletes and how they deal with mental health. So I think this is really interesting if you're pursuing a career in clinical psychology.
Oh.
As an undergrad, my name was Sidney, and when I started my undergrad studies, violence prevention was such a new topic in Brazil. This was something that my advisor and other two professors in the whole country were talking about. This was really new. New in the sense that people who were actually trying to do something about it. There were a lot of theoretical works, we gotta do something about violence, but there were not a lot of people who were actually trying to do something about it. And this is what hooked me into the topic of legal psychology. And I was like, well, you can do something. It's not just yammer, keep yapping about it and not doing anything. And this really got my eyes, and I felt that, well, maybe I could do something, maybe my own experience and my knowledge in psychology could do something about that. The next topic was, I was working at the Bank of Brazil at the time of my undergraduate students. So the only thing that I had in my mind is that I had to get this degree and I had to quit this bank. So I didn't have a lot of things on my mind except the day that I was going to quit the bank. And my favorite show at the time was CSI. And I know, you know, it's bad, but it was so entertaining because it feels like, oh no, but he smile in a quirky way, and you're like, oh my god, the police in the US is so amazing. And you think that every single police department in the US, has this department that solves crime at 100% rates. So then you grow up and you see, oh, it's not like that at all. So, but at the time, it was really fun to watch CSI.
With the sunglasses. So for those of you who are, new to this idea that you're in a COIL class is a collaborative online international learning class. And what does that mean? That means that we have universities from different countries that have come together, international countries, to work on the class together. In some classes, you'll work on a part of the class. In this class, you're actually going to work together throughout the entire thing. And there's lots of goals with COIL classes. Part of it is just to see how psychology is different across different countries, to see how the university is different across different countries, to see how the legal system is different across different countries. But also for us is to see how researchers are working across these boundaries together, right? Because these boundaries just are, creations, but the work can be done internationally. And sometimes you do the work together to compare two different countries, and sometimes you do the work together just because you like working with other people in different countries, which is really the best way of doing it. And so we're hoping that we inspire you all to think about where connections can be found, both within the United States, outside of the United States, within Brazil, outside of Brazil, within Mozambique, outside of Mozambique, and how that makes us better scientists by understanding everyone around us and thinking how we can make our science better with a more thorough understanding. Is there anything else you think I missed with our goals with COIL?
I think one of the things that this is our second experience with COIL, and on we have traveled to different countries, and I have been to the US, Debbie has been to Brazil, and I've been to Mozambique, and I'm going back to Mozambique in March. While you're taking this class, I'll probably be in Mozambique at that time. And one of the things is that we are way more similar than we think we are. When I got back from Mozambique, a lot of my friends, how was the experience? And I was like, I was in Brazil, it was nothing very different, our traditional beans dish is different, but it's not that different, it's and it's so interesting because when I got to the US for the first time, it was a bigger cultural shock than it was to Mozambique. But if you live in, I don't know, Summer Shield in Maputo, maybe you would have a bigger shock coming to Curitiba than going to Miami, because those are two coastal cities. You have a lot of new neighborhoods, you have a lot of gated communities. Maybe you'll feel closer to Miami than you actually be closer to Curitiba. So I think that's one of the beauties of the COIL experience, is that maybe you don't think that you are very similar to a student from a different country, but maybe you are closer to him or her than you are to one of your students sitting right next to you.
Yeah, I love that. So part of this class will require 3 sort of sections that we think about. You have learning assignments. That's when you're sort of taking in the material for each of the modules. This course is divided into different modules. The modules and the learning assignments and the application assignments, everything is described in the syllabus. So please take a little while to read the syllabus and reach out to us if you have any questions about that. We are here. You will hear us say that over and over again. But then you'll take what you have learned for that module, that topic, and then you'll apply it, because we really want you to see how this research works in the real world. And so you'll get a couple of application assignments. Some of these assignments, both learning and application, will have you chatting via Teams. All 3 countries will use Teams as their main central meeting point. We sort of think of it as like the virtual online conference room where we all come together to chat and talk. But then you will submit assignments some of the time in your own individual online learning platform. So Canvas for the United States, and then other ones for the other countries. The third part will be group work. And that's one thing we make sure the students know. We view this as the major benefit of the class, but I know some people don't love group work. But we love it here because each group, you will be assigned groups as part of this class. Each group will have individuals from all 3 different countries, United States, Brazil, and Mozambique. And the goal there is for you to get to know students across 3 of the countries. So you will work together. We've developed a way for you to do this either asynchronously, like on your own time, or synchronously, right? If you decide to develop a like when to meet call or chat or however it works, whatever works best for your group and your country and however it works. To develop a final policy pitch. And we actually have a whole nother video on the final policy pitch. It's posted under this module, module 0. It's an overview about how it works and what you're thinking about. And then the syllabus always has more information on it. Anything that I missed about the course?
No, I think the group work is a great opportunity for you to actually try to understand each other's point of view. We're going to discuss more about that, but how different and how similar are our views into a legal psychology problem. And I think this can be a great opportunity for you to actually try to know and to engage into what is to do research. When Debbie and I are doing research, sometimes Debbie says something and I'm like, oh, in Brazil, this will never work. And sometimes I say something and Debbie's like, no way, Jose, this is not going to work in Brazil, in the US. So I think you guys are going to have this great experience of trying to create something unique out of those 3 different cultural contexts.
And we really want to encourage you to use the Teams chat, right? Talk with each other. There are no books that are required for this class. We've posted everything that you need into Teams, and we've actually posted some bonus material, sometimes an extra TED Talk or sometimes an extra article, just to get you thinking. And if you want to read other things, you're more than welcome to read those. And if there's something that you can't find or an article you want to see, reach out, let us know. We can put it in Teams. You have the benefit right now of many professors to help you, and we each have our strengths. So we're here to, make sure that you grow in this class. Finally, if you have questions, you can contact your professors via different ways and different things. You can always shout out any of us via Teams. You can send me a message on Canvas for Brazil.
You guys can use Teams or my email that is going to be on Teams as well. From Mozambique, you can call us on Teams anytime, or actually text us on Teams. And we're going to have an email for that as well that is going to be posted on Teams. And you guys will also have access to some of the materials on Vula. So, and we're uploading the videos on YouTube. If you want to download from YouTube and watch it when you do not have internet access, we're going to post the YouTube channel on our Teams classroom as well.
Yeah, and just make sure if you're contacting us on Teams, just make sure you tag us, because there are a number of you in this class. And so that way we get the notification that you have a question for us. But otherwise, we hope you guys love this class as much as we love teaching it and being in it. And we look forward to learning from all of you. So we hope you guys have an absolutely lovely day. Bye, guys.